Have you ever been treated with disrespect and felt your heart sink? Maybe it was a dismissive comment, a cold shoulder, or just someone acting like your presence didn't matter. It stings, doesn't it? Disrespect has a way of making us question ourselves. It can spark anger, frustration, and even self-doubt. But what if I told you there's another way to handle it? A way that doesn't involve lashing out or shrinking in silence? The ancient Stoic philosophers, people like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, faced disrespect in far harsher times than ours. Yet they responded with strength, clarity, and calm. They taught that it's not what happens to us that defines us, but how we choose to respond. In this video, we'll explore 12 timeless Stoic lessons that can help you navigate disrespect, not with weakness or rage, but with dignity and wisdom. These are not just ideas, these are tools you can use today to rise above the noise and stay grounded in who you truly are. So stay with me, because if you've ever felt disrespected, this might be the video that changes how you deal with it forever. Number 1, keep your calm. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to feel shaken, like your worth is under attack. But here's a powerful truth from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. In other words, it's not the event itself that hurts, it's how we choose to interpret it. Think about it. One person might shrug off a rude comment, while another lets it ruin their whole day. The difference? Perspective. Stoicism teaches us that our emotional response is within our control. So next time someone talks down to you or ignores you, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself, their words don't define your value. Their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. Staying calm doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're in control. It's not about pretending things don't hurt. It's about choosing not to give your peace away so easily. That's real strength. That's Stoic power. 2, reflect on yourself. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to defend, to react, to push back. But here's a Stoic truth. Growth doesn't begin with blame. It begins with reflection. Before reacting, pause and ask yourself, is there any truth in what was said? Did I do something that may have triggered this? It doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior. It means you take ownership of your part, if there is one. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And those thoughts become clearer when we dare to look inward. Self-reflection helps you shift from emotional reaction to wise response. It's not about guilt, it's about growth. Because every moment of disrespect is also a moment to check in with yourself and rise above, not just react. Remember, strength isn't just about standing tall. It's about looking within. 3, learn to pause. Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and regretted it just seconds later? Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, once warned anger is not only a present evil, but it's the habit of multiplying pain. In other words, reacting without thinking doesn't just hurt others, it hurts you. That's why one of the most powerful tools in Stoicism is the pause. When someone disrespects you, your emotions will want to take the wheel. But if you just take a breath, step back, and pause, something incredible happens. You shift from reaction to reflection. You take back control. That pause gives you space to choose, wisdom over impulse, calm over chaos. So next time you're triggered, remember, a single pause might save you from 1,000 regrets. And in that space of stillness, you rediscover your power. 4, have empathy. When someone disrespects you, your first instinct might be to push back, to get angry, to take it personally. But here's a Stoic truth worth remembering. Most disrespect says more about them than it does about you. People often lash out from a place of fear, insecurity, or deep pain. Maybe they're going through something you can't see. Maybe no one ever taught them a better way to deal with frustration. What if, instead of reacting with anger, you paused and chose empathy? Empathy doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior. It means you refuse to let someone else's pain poison your peace. When you practice empathy, you protect your energy. You see the bigger picture. You rise above the chaos, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. So next time you face disrespect, ask yourself, what might they be going through? That simple question could change everything.
5. Concentrate on virtue.
When someone disrespects you, it's tempting to hit back, to prove a point, to show them they messed with the wrong person. But here's what the Stoics believed. Virtue is the highest good. Not revenge, not pride. Virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, don't let someone else's lack of character drag you down to their level. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? Someone who reacts impulsively, or someone who chooses integrity even when it's hard? When you focus on virtue, you rise above pettiness. You respond, not to hurt, but to stay true to your values. That's not weakness. That's strength most people never master. So the next time someone tests your patience, don't just defend your pride, defend your character. 6. Embrace acceptance. Here's a hard truth. You can't control what people say, think, or do. You can't stop someone from being rude, critical, or unfair. But you can control how you respond. That's the core of Stoic wisdom. The Stoics taught us to separate what's within our power, our thoughts, actions, and character, from what's not, like others' opinions or behavior. Epictetus said it best. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. When someone disrespects you, you have two choices. Fight reality and suffer, or accept what you can't control and protect your peace. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's clarity. It's saying, I will not let someone else's chaos disturb my calm. So next time you feel shaken by someone's words, pause and ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Because often, peace begins where control ends. 7. Use humor. Sometimes the best way to diffuse tension is to laugh. Now, I don't mean laughing at someone. I mean using humor as a shield, not a sword. When someone disrespects you, you don't always need to fight back or take it personally. Sometimes a simple smirk, a lighthearted comment, or even an internal chuckle can protect your peace better than any harsh word. Seneca once said, "You have mastered yourself when you know what not to take seriously." That's the power of humor. It gives you space. It helps you rise above the moment rather than sink into it. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at a situation and realized it wasn't worth all the anger? That's where humor comes in. It reminds you that not everything deserves your full emotional investment. Use it wisely. Humor, when rooted in self-control, becomes a tool for resilience, not avoidance. 8. Set clear boundaries. Being stoic doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you stand firm, with calm strength and unwavering clarity. When someone crosses the line, you don't have to explode in anger, but you also don't have to stay silent. You speak with purpose, you act with principle, you draw the line, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. Think about a time when someone treated you unfairly. Did you stay quiet to keep the peace, or did you speak up to protect your values? Stoicism teaches us that boundaries are not barriers, they are foundations. They show the world what we tolerate, and more importantly, what we will not. When you respond to disrespect with both calm and courage, you send a powerful message. I know my worth. I won't retaliate, but I will not shrink. That is Stoic strength in action. 9. Choose forgiveness. Let's be honest, when someone disrespects us, our instinct is to get even, to hold a grudge, to stay angry. But here's what the Stoics knew. Forgiveness isn't something you give to others. It's something you give to yourself. It's not about pretending the offense didn't happen. It's about choosing not to let that pain poison your peace. As Marcus Aurelius would remind us, our thoughts shape our reality. So why carry anger like a weight on your back? Forgiveness is not weakness. It's strength. It's the power to rise above, to say, I may remember what you did, but I refuse to let it define how I live. When you forgive with wisdom, not naivety, you free yourself. You step forward, lighter, clearer, and more in control. In a world full of bitterness, forgiveness is an act of boldness. Be bold enough to let go. 10. Change your perspective. Sometimes the fastest way to rise above disrespect is to simply change how you see it. What if the insult wasn't really about you? What if it came from their insecurity, their stress, their ignorance? The Stoics teach us it's not the event itself, but our judgment of it that hurts us. In the grand scheme of life, many of the things that upset us today will feel small or even laughable tomorrow. Think about it. Will this still matter in a week, a month, 5 years? When you zoom out, you gain clarity. You remember your worth isn't determined by someone's careless words. It's defined by your character, your actions, your values. Perspective gives you power. It gives you peace. And most of all, it gives you freedom. So next time someone tries to tear you down, step back, breathe, and rise. 11. Reinforce inner dignity. There's a quiet strength in choosing not to strike back. When someone disrespects you, your instinct might be to fight fire with fire, to return insult with insult. But ask yourself, what does that really prove? The Stoics remind us that true dignity isn't shown in the easy moments, but in how we carry ourselves through adversity. When you respond with grace instead of rage, with calm instead of chaos, you don't lose power, you reveal it. You're not letting them win. You're showing that you've already won. Over your ego, over the impulse to react, over the need for validation. Inner dignity is like armor. It doesn't scream, it doesn't strike, it simply protects. And in the end, your self-respect is worth far more than any petty exchange. So hold your head high, not because you're better than them, but because you've chosen to be better than the moment. 12. Manage your emotions wisely. Let me be clear, Stoicism is not about shutting down your feelings or pretending you're a robot. It's about mastering them. Anger, frustration, sadness, they're natural. But what matters is what you do with them. Do you let them drive your actions, or do you take the wheel? The Stoics taught us that emotions are like wild horses. If you let them run free, they'll trample your judgment. But if you guide them with reason, they can carry you forward with strength and clarity. When someone disrespects you, don't explode. Don't retreat either. Pause, breathe, then choose your response. Not from impulse, but from intention. That moment of choice is where real power lives. The kind of power that builds character, earns respect, and leads to peace, not just with others, but within yourself. So remember this, you don't need to suppress your emotions. Just don't let them rule you. So how do you rise above disrespect? You apply these 12 Stoic lessons, not just as abstract ideas, but as daily practices. When others act with rudeness, you don't have to follow their lead. You don't have to be reactive. You can choose calm. You can choose wisdom. And most of all, you can choose to grow. Because every moment of disrespect is also a moment of training, a chance to sharpen your character, to show restraint, and to reinforce who you truly are. If today's message spoke to something inside you, hit that like button. It helps spread this ancient wisdom to others who may need it. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful Stoic insights every single week. Keep your mind strong, keep your heart clear, stay Stoic.